In this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to solve for pH, and then if you have pH or pOH, how to solve for one of the others right there. So if you remember from last time, we talked about how the pOH scale, so pOH scale goes from 0 to 14. 7 is neutral. It's opposite of the pH scale, so we have a base here, we have an acid, right? So for this one, we're going to be talking about if you have a value of a concentration of pOH, how do you solve, or I mean of the OH concentration, how do you solve for pOH? So for this one, I'm going to be on page, I'm going to be doing some problems on page 654. 654, and then some examples. So pOH is just the same as pH. The formula for it is pOH equals the negative log, except this time we have to do the OH concentration instead of the H plus concentration. All right, so we're just going to do the OH concentration for this one, if it gives us that. So let's do page 654. Let's do example problem number 3, right by the cow there. It says a cow is being fed straw and hay that has been treated with ammonia. The addition of ammonia to animal feed promotes protein growth in the animal. Another use of ammonia is a household cleaner, which is an aqueous solution of ammonium gas. A typical cleaner has a hydroxide ion concentration, so it tells us that the hydroxide ion concentration is 4.0 times 10 to the negative third molarity, and it asks us what is the pOH, and it says we also need to do the pH, so it's asking for both of those. Well, since we have the OH concentration, we're just going to use this formula right here above. We're going to say pOH equals the negative log, and then we're going to do 4.0 times 10 to the negative third molarity. Okay, so you're just going to put in your calculator, just going to do negative log 4.0 times 10 to the negative third. Okay, when you do that, you get a pOH equals 2.4. So that's what the pOH is. So we have a pOH of 2.4. Okay, now the next one is asking us what is the pH. So here's the formula. So pOH and pH are just opposites of 14. So pH plus pOH equals 14. So basically the way you do it is if you have pOH, you subtract it from 14 and it gives you the pH. So we have pH equals, or sorry, pH plus pOH, which is 2.4 equals 14. So we just take it to the other side, subtract 2.4 from 14, and we get a pH that equals 11.6. So that is our pH is 11.6 right there. Okay, let's maybe do one more problem with this. So where we have the pOH concentration. So let's say we have an OH concentration equals 3.9 times 10 to the negative 12th. Oops, to the negative 12th. Now, for this, we're going to do a few things. First of all, what is the pOH? So the questions are, what is the pOH? What is the pH? And just to review a little bit, is it an acid? Is it a base? Or is it neutral? Okay, so acid, base, or neutral. So first of all, let's solve for pOH. So pOH equals the negative log of 3.9 times 10 to the negative 12th, and that's going to be molarity again. I should have put molarity right there. So we're just going to do it in our calculator, and I don't have this one done. So negative log, and then we're going to go 3.9 to the negative 12th. And we get, so for this one, we get a pOH equals 11.4. Okay, now let's solve for the pH. So again, we're just going to do pH, I keep putting equals, pH plus pOH equals 14. So we've got pH plus 11.4 equals 14. So then we're just going to subtract it from 14 and we get 2.6. So 11.4 minus that is, so pH equals 2.6. So that is our pH. Now, is it an acid, is it a base, or is it neutral? Well, we can look at both these scales. We can look at the pH scale and the pOH scale. So if you remember pH, it was 0 to 14, 7, below 7 was an acid, above 7 was a base. The pOH scale, 0, 14, 7, below 7 was a base, above 7 was an acid. So pOH is above 7, so that means it's an acid, right? pH is below a 7, it's an acid. So this is going to be an acid, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do problems where it gives us the pH or the pOH, and we have to solve for the hydroxide or hydrogen ion concentration. Okay, so this one's going to be on page 655, example problem number 4. So it says, what are the H plus and OH in a healthy person's blood that has a pH? So we've got a pH equals 7.4. That's what the pH, and the question is what is the H plus concentration and what is the OH minus concentration? Okay, I'm going to add some things in here. I'm going to say, okay, what is the pOH? And also, is it an acid, is it a base, or is it neutral? Okay, so first of all, let's start out with solving for what the H plus concentration is. Now, it's the same formula we just used, pH equals negative log of the ion concentration of H plus. So this time it has pH, so we've got 7.4 equals negative log of the H plus concentration. So in algebra, we just divide by the negative log, divide by the negative log. Okay, so it's a little bit different to do this on your calculator. So what you do is you go to the second function log, and then you do a negative 7.4. Okay, and that will give you your answer right there. So again, the way you do it on your calculator is you go second function log, and when you do second function log, it's going to bring up something like 10 with a little caret and parentheses. So you go second function log and then do a negative 7.4. That's how you put it in your calculator. And so it's going to look like this, 7.4, then put a parentheses around it. Okay, so this is going to equal to, let's see, if we round it up, it's going to be 4.0. It's actually 3.98, but 4.0 times 10 to the negative 8th. Okay, so that is going to be, that's what H plus equals. Again, remember, that's how you put it in your calculator when you do it. Now, let's solve for what the OH concentration is. There's two different ways we could do it. We could solve for pOH and then do it this way, or we could do it by the ion product constant of water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just solve for pOH and then do it the way we've just been doing it right here. Okay, so if you remember, pH plus pOH equals 14. So we've got a pH of 7.4 plus pOH equals 14. So we're just going to go 14 minus 7.4, and that gives us 6.6. So we have pOH equals 6.6. Let's use this same formula right here that we've been using, okay, that we have pOH. I'll just rewrite it. pOH equals negative log of the OH minus concentration. Now you notice this time I just put OH instead of H plus and pH. Those two have to match up. So here we have pOH, which equals 6.6. So pOH equals 6.6 equals negative log of our OH minus concentration. Now, remember again, to do this, we're going to divide by the negative log. We're not really going to divide. We're just going to go second function log on my calculator, and then we're going to do a negative 6.6. Okay, so when we do that, we get the OH minus concentration equals 2.5 times 10 to the negative 7th. Okay, Now, that brings us, is it an acid, a base, or is it neutral? Okay, so if we can look right here, the easiest thing to do is either look at the pOH, which is 6.6, or the pH, which is 7.4. Well, a pH 7.4 is above a 7, so this is going to be almost an acid, but it's going to be a base, okay, because it's above 7 on the pH scale. Okay, and so this is how you do problems with pOH and doing it backwards to solve for the ion concentration.